matter if you're tired. Because guess what? No one cares if you're tired. No one cares how much of a day you had. No one cares if it was hard. No one cares if it was easy. People don't care. Your clients at work, they expect you to deliver, regardless of what it is you got going on at home, regardless of your divorce, regardless of your child's being sick, regardless of the fact that do you guys know where boats go when they're sick? To the boat dock. Yeah, buddy. I bet you did not know that. I'm probably going to need a doctor if one of you guys catches me out in the streets, because these jokes are just getting worse and worse. So as you can see from the title, laziness, it is rampant. I was actually thinking about this like just today as a topic I wanted to discuss, and my boy Anton actually ended up putting a talking head video up discussing more or less this very same thing, and I really wanted to expand upon what he said. I agree with most of the things Anton says in his videos, but I do not agree with all of them. So I'm going to provide a different point of view. I think it is good to look at things from a different point of view, so we're going to deep dive into it and figure out just kind of what the mindset is between what is reasonable in terms of work ethic and what isn't. So let's go.
Y'all used to this life out here and stuff. Y'all used to it, so you comfortable. That's what I learned. Since I've been out here and I'm looking at the water and I'm looking at the mountains and stuff like this, y'all comfortable. Y'all feel good about yourself. And so you out here and you California living it up and you're taking it easy and you're on easy street. Person like me come out here from Detroit, man, I'll take over this whole area. I could take over this whole city, bro.
Get it, Anton.
Real talk. Because see, I'm not comfortable. And that's what people are. And it ain't just here, it's everywhere. It's a lot of people that get comfortable. Y'all get comfortable in everything that y'all do. Y'all get comfortable at your jobs. That's why it's easy for you to get laid off. Then you want to have a sense of urgency when they lay you off. Because
so let's talk about getting actually laid off. And being valuable is the one thing that's going to prevent you from being laid off. And I'm going to give you an example from my own personal life. At my corporate job, I have more than one ability, right? I have a main job, which is consulting, but within that job, I have a bunch of other different things that I'm capable of doing, whether that's being some forms of business development when I'm out, whether that's being some forms of marketing with photography, videography. I have allowed myself to grow such that I can provide more value than what I'm hired for. And that's what keeps me employed. We actually lost a fair bit of employees over the last year due to the economy and our particular sector. And I was retained. And that is because I continue to provide outstanding value. And that's going to be the secret to your success. You can't expect to do the minimum and then remain safe when times get hard, when layoffs start to occur. You have to constantly be improving your skill set to be better. And so when you get in this lazy mentality, so to speak, where you just kind of cruise, what's going to happen is when the times get tough, you're going to be one of the first ones to go. And that's what Anton is expanding upon. We can't allow ourselves to get lazy and complacent with our jobs. We have to continue to get better, continue to get certifications, continue to raise our hands and ask, hey, what are we going to do? Because otherwise, we're just going to get passed over when it comes to promotions, and then we're going to get laid off when times get hard, unless we are above and beyond our peers. It may not be fair, it may not be right, it may not be easy, but it is what it is.
because you're trying to figure out what to do. Y'all got comfortable in your relationships, and so you can't figure out why he not attracted to you no more, or she can't figure out, or he can't figure out, what's wrong. Is because you comfortable and you stop striving for greatness. And people, you a different person than when you first came into the game. It's content creators that come into this thing and they comfortable. They happy. They've had success. They're taking vacations. You know what? I have to have a mental health day. I got to figure it out. And when you get comfortable, it's always going to be a person like me that's in the tuck like, yes, I'm glad they're comfortable. So now
a mental health day. Let me show you guys something. So I'm just going to show you guys my receipts, so to speak. See if I can get the camera to focus on this. That's 71 hours. That was my time card from last week. 71. That was from one of my jobs. Not including all the time I spend to do this. Not including anything else that I do. Not including my family time. 71 hours. And here I am. It's Sunday at 2:15, and we still grind it. I don't even make money doing this at the moment. So you need to find out where your work ethic is and what you're willing to accept. But working anything less than 80 hours a week is probably not going to cut it.
I can go ahead and sneak in and kill it a little bit. Y'all come into these cities and you've been born into it, or you didn't had a little bit of money for a long time, or you making a little over six figures, and so you think you hit the pinnacle of what you got going on, and
Six
so now
figures
you're
ain't it.
comfortable.
It ain't it.
You're comfortable. DA Foundation says people are tired though, AD. Cool, I'm with that. Get some rest. Get some rest. Get rest. I want you to get some rest. I want you to make sure that you rest up and you get yourself.
All right, so let's talk about percentage-wise. If you want to be in the top 1% of America, the average net worth of the top 1% is about $35.5 million. That's top 1% in America, with the average income being $731,000. So when Anton talks about you made six figures and you're comfortable, you're nowhere near the top 1%. Maybe you don't want to be, but that's fine. If you want to be the top 5%, it's still going to be more than $100,000. This figure that we've strived for all these years, it used to be the golden ticket, so to speak, right? $100,000, six-figure salary, it doesn't cut it. It just doesn't cut it anymore. If you want to live life well and smartly. And what that means is you're investing, you're being able to take at least one decent vacation a year, and you're able to buy groceries without worrying about the bill. You're able to pay your light bill and your mortgage guilt-free, and preferably debt-free.
Self together. I have a hunger and a desire in me to be successful like I've never had before. I feel like I'm broke. I work like I'm broke. I hustle like I ain't never had nothing. One of the best things that ever happened to me is to get it and lose it so that I can remember where it is that I came from. And every time that I see somebody get comfortable and I say, I'm not telling you don't get sufficient sleep, but see, y'all talking about we tired just on some mental shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't talking about physical sleep. Get your 6 to 8 hours of sleep. But what you doing for the other 14, 16, 18 hours a day that you awake? You winging it, bro. You sitting here watching TV with your feet kicked up, having a good time, thinking that everybody is supposed to make sure you feel good, keep on having mental health days. Do that. I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm 100% with it.
And that mentality right there is why his kitchen is nicer than yours. It's why his stuff is nicer. It's why he lives better. He lives like he's broke, and he's a multi-millionaire. And if that doesn't tell you all you need to know, I don't know what will. Never be satisfied. Be thankful for what you've done and accomplished. Be grateful for those things, but always keep your eye ahead on what you need to do going forward.
I want you to. I want you to. Because every single day, I'm going to just tell you like this. I'm giving it my all.
Yeah.
Everything I fucking got, I'm going to give it. Every ounce in me, I'm leaving it on the floor. By the time I get into bed, every single day, I have left nothing to chance. I've left nothing for questioning. I've left nothing for people to sit there and take off my plate. It's not every single day. By the time I close my computer and I get into bed, I left nothing to chance. Sometimes, and this is the honest to God truth. Here, I'll show you what time I set my alarm for this morning.
I'm curious. Let's see. I'm guessing 4. Money.
That's the time.
Actually, let's see here. Hold up now, Anton. These are my typical alarms. 4:20, 7:20, rarely. Can't tell you the last time I used that. Let me know down in the comments below what time your alarm is set for, because it's probably not going to be 4 a.m. So me and Anton share that mentality. And let me tell you something else, okay? 6 to 8 hours, yes, it is important you get your sleep, but sometimes you might have to get less. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten 4, especially if you got kids. You know, if you got kids, yeah, good luck on 8 hours of sleep. Every single day, year after year, are the ones that succeed. The ones who make excuses are the ones who complain.
I set my alarm. 4:35, just in case I miss one or I want to snooze. 4:30, and 5 is the time that I set my alarm for. That's the honest to God truth. I don't, and listen, you got to remember, this is East Coast time
Yep,
right here.
that's 1
Because see
a.m.
this
Pacific.
phone right here, it say 10:40 a.m. So this is operating on East Coast time. So West Coast time, I'm waking up at 1 a.m.
Yep.
I still operate on East Coast time. So West Coast time, I'm waking up at 1 a.m. This phone say 7:40. This phone is 10:40. Give a fuck about what y'all talking about. Can't nobody tell me what ain't for me. By the time that I get to streaming this at 10 o'clock in the morning, I've already been up working for 6 hours, bro.
Think about that. Think about it.
Everybody that work for me, I have to plan for when I'm going to send them text messages. And thank God that Apple added that as an update, because now I can plan, okay, I know this person will be up at this time. I know this person will get up at this time. I know this person will get up at this time. And I know this person will get up at this time. So I start planning my text messages the night before for what I want them to do after I've already been up for 3, 4, 5 hours.
Yes.
Absolutely, I catch a nap in the daytime. Soon as I get done with my live streaming, and I operate off of a calendar. If you know me, if you're a part of the Patreon, you know how heavy I am on my calendar.
That's another good point, too. Y'all need to get a freaking calendar and use it. If you're not using a calendar, start right now, immediately, yesterday. You've got to section out your time. And speaking of calendars and managing your time, again, I'm going to show you guys my receipts, okay? I do have some NDAs here, so I'm going to cover up some names. I don't know if y'all can see that very well. Let's see if I can tilt my hand so it'll focus. Nah, not really. That's an email I sent just before I started this on Sunday to my, I used to be our CEO, now one of our principals, okay? Sunday. After a 71-hour work week, I'm still emailing and working on Sunday. What does that tell you? To some of you, that might tell you I'm a suck up. And to those people, you're always going to be broke. Congratulations.
I hit the streets, I take care of business, I come back, I wind down, I take a nap for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then I'm back up. And I'm back up and I'm going because I knocked the edge off. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm back up and I'm grinding and I'm hustling. You keep on asking me, how is he doing it? What kind of systems? Yep, I believe in systems, but you can't do that without work ethic. You can create every system in the world, but you got to hustle. You got to grind. You have to hustle. Listen, before we get started with this show, I want you to understand that I want everything. And when you sleep, I'm coming to take it. I want it. I don't give a fuck about 1 million subscribers. I don't care that I got 1.6 million subscribers across multiple different platforms. I'm not looking at, oh man, I got 20,000 Patreon, 20,000 plus Patreon members now. You know, somebody told me, and I can't confirm this, but I just believe it. I want to believe it. Somebody told me that Joe Budden had 150,000 Patreon members. I said, You know what I went and did? I went and bought Joe's Patreon. I promise to God, I went and bought his Patreon. Because I want to see what he doing that's different from what I'm doing. And I need to compare and contrast, and I need to figure out how I can leverage what they got going on so that I can do it much better.
Exactly. Always looking at your competition, those who are above you and those who are below you, finding out what systems they may or may not use that you could incorporate. That's one thing I like about Anton, because he's always thinking ahead about how he can succeed, and he's got that work ethic. And as you don't know, both Anton and I were big Christians, okay? And it's biblical. Work ethic is biblical. I want you guys to look at this from theologians. For even when we were with you, we would give you this command: if anyone is not willing to work, let him not eat. You got to eat what you kill. That's in the Bible. It doesn't get more black and white than that. If you still disagree or not question, that's fine. You don't got to be. But let me tell you what, if it worked 2,000 years ago, it's still going to work now.
Better. Because now I got a goal. Now I got something to chase. I'm not looking at these little niggas that's up here making videos saying, I don't like Anton Daniels.
He don't care. Exactly.
Shoot up. I'm benchmarking. I'm not paying attention. You think I'm making a response video? You think I'm going to take 10 minutes out of my day to make a response video to somebody that's down here? I'm benchmarking. I'm trying to see, okay, so wait a minute. They did this, they did that, they did this. This is what they did great. And I don't even have to like you. That's the beautiful part about it, is that I don't have to like you to pay you to get information from you, because I am never going to let how I feel about you personally affect what it is that I can identify about you that's great.
Stop that right there. That's absolutely huge. Let's recap what you just said. I'm not going to let my personal feelings get in the way of being able to leverage assets. Now, for those of you that want a corollary, I'm sure everyone has coworkers that they don't like. Most of my coworkers are great. In fact, really all of them are. Some of them, personality-wise, I don't get along with as much as others. And when I first started at my corporate job, I let that get in the way of me. If I didn't really like somebody, I didn't want to work with them. And unfortunately, there's going to be some really great, smart, and talented people that you're going to work with in your life that you are not going to like. It just is what it is. But if you refuse to speak to people and to work with people just because you don't like them, what you're going to do is you're going to handicap yourself. You are literally going to kneecap yourself from becoming greater, because we have to learn from those of us who are doing it better. And just because someone's doing it better doesn't mean they're nice. It doesn't mean they're fun to be with. But what it does mean is that, to Anton's point, that you can leverage their knowledge and ability if you're just willing to set your pride and ego down.
One of the reasons why Kevin Hart is my favorite comedian is not necessarily because he the funniest, it's because that nigga don't sleep. It's because he work. It's because he better than everybody else, Not because he the most talented, not because he's the tallest, not because he's the smartest. It's because that nigga don't sleep. He got a hustle in him. He got an edge to him that no matter how much money he get, he be like, you know what? Let me get on Kai Cenat stream. Let me do something with Drewski.
No quit.
Let me go hit the clubs. And you know what the funniest part about it? You know what else I learned about Kevin Hart? I started paying attention to the people that he got around him. Kevin Hart is loyal, but his friends didn't adopt the work ethic that he got. His friends is comfortable. That's what I observed. They go on tour with him. He keep on giving the bag and all of this other type of stuff. But I be thinking to myself, how come ain't nobody? Because his friends is just as funny. If you go to a Kevin Hart show, because I went to the show, y'all watched it on Netflix. I actually went and seen him in person.
I need to go see Kevin Hart. I've never been.
If you listen to his friends, they funny as hell. And I be thinking to myself, how come these niggas ain't got movies? How come these dudes ain't out here in the streets? How come they not moving and shaking? How come they not on movie sets? How come they not soaking up the game? What are they doing? So you telling me that you land, that you traveling, you on this plane, you on the tour bus, you can spend all of this time with him, and you regular? You're regular. People let how they feel about, I don't like him, I don't like this, I don't like that. When they talk about different people, man, one of the people that is my inspiration is Steve Harvey. I seen that nigga doing multiple different shows on Family Feud, and then he would be over here doing this show, and then he did that show, and he was doing all of these different recordings at the same time, and Steve was over there running up a crazy bag, and I'm like, so Steve Harvey was the least talented on the Kings of Comedy tour, but he the richest of all of them.
Yeah.
I'm not studying Cedric the Entertainer. I'm not studying Bernie Mac. I damn sure ain't studying DL Hughley. I wanted to figure out how the least funniest dude on the tour is the richest of all of them. And I was like, okay, listen, I may not take relationship advice from this dude, but this dude got a work ethic. He got a business sense about him that elevated him above all of his peers, despite the fact.
Again, we're right back at it. Work ethic. Steve Harvey is, God, he's awesome. But he just wouldn't quit. And that's how people like Anton also have gotten ahead. Now, for those of you who don't know about Anton's YouTube channel, I think his Millionaire Morning Show has, I think that one's over 1 million. I don't remember. I know he has one channel over 1 million. But if we look at YouTube in general, at least from this statistic right here, it says that there are tens of millions of YouTube channels, which is definitely accurate, okay? And this one says only 25.25, percent are making any money on the platform. And that includes even so much as a penny from ad revenue. So what does that tell you? That tells you that just because you're good, just because you might have something valuable to input, you still have to work hard. You can't just make one video and become a millionaire. It doesn't work like that on YouTube, which is probably for the better. Because what that does is it ensures that the content that's going out on YouTube is high quality and has a value and is giving value back. Most importantly, that's why you come to YouTube. If you're watching me, it's because I provide value to you in some way, just like Anton provides value to me because our mindsets align and I concur with the things that he says.
That he the least talented person and he the show opener. How the show opener get the riches? See, you look at Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac was the man.
Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac was funny as fuck, but I don't give a fuck about laughing. I'm trying to figure out what is the business sense of this whole situation. And so when I came out here and I'm in San Diego and they laissez-faire, you know, I met some people at breakfast yesterday and they said that they were wholesale clothes. Because I look at the watches. The first thing I notice about you is your demeanor, your watches. 3 white boys sitting at the table next to me. A guy came over from the table next door and he was like, oh man, you know, I love your content. I appreciate you, which got their attention. So then they look at my watch, which I know he already noticed, but he had on the platinum Rolex. His homeboy had on a professional, the date just, and the other one, I think he had on the AP, all plain Jane. And so I'm listening, I'm ear hustling. I'm having breakfast.
Ear hustling. I like that.
Then when the guy came over and said something, this is the honest to God on everything on my father's grave. I'm ear hustling, so I know what they're doing. I know that they're about to go to Vegas. I know they from Miami. I know they visiting their parents here in San Diego. And so now I need to know what they do. Guy comes over. He says he appreciate my content. I shake his hand. We kick it for a minute. And then I hear them get quiet, which is my entry because I didn't want to interrupt them. So what's going on, guys? What y'all doing? What do you guys do for a living? So he started explaining it to me. Hey, man, I do closeouts for wholesale, clothing and stuff like that. And so he started explaining it to me about the capital that you need. And a lot of people are not capital intensive. And, you know, he was able to do the closeout. And then I asked him about tariffs and how that was affecting his business. And so we started connecting and having conversations on that. We wound up exchanging information. And that's where you start to get your business sense from.
So let's break that back down. That simple opportunity between two people talking, he was able to expound upon. I've had this happen to me on planes. I've had it happen to me on trains and actually automobiles, right? All 3 freaking major modes of transportation. There's always going to be an opportunity that's going to be there for you. And for these, but that's God putting it there for you. You believe it's yourself. Depending on whatever it is you believe, you need to take advantage of these opportunities that are coming to you. But you've got to be on the lookout for what those look like. When someone comes up to you and says, hey, I appreciate you for X, Y, and Z, shake his hand, talk to him, because there may be an opportunity to leverage an asset, to leverage someone's intelligence, to be able to make a good connection for life. And you'll never know that unless you're constantly paying attention for those opportunities as they come to you.
It's natural for me because I look at these people out here as food.
Ooh.
I look at these people out here as food, and I'm like, I need the business acumen. I need to know what you know. And then I'm going to combine that with my hustle, my grit, my grind, and my edge that I have as a result of being born and raised in a place where I'm from and having the experiences that I have. And I'm going to capitalize off of that shit. I'm not running in the victim Olympics. I don't believe that the system is built against me. I don't believe because I'm black that white people or other people won't give me all of the information in the game, or somebody that is successful is not going to make sure that they assist me in being successful. The neighbor right across the street, just spoke to him yesterday. We was kicking it. I need to know all the information and then I'm gonna put it to use. I don't.
There's your success formula right there. That's the only formula that you need. Take what you have that you're good at, learn what you don't have and what you don't know, and then use your grind and hustle to put it together and make something better. It's basically what he's telling you to do. And notice how he said it's irrespective of race. He doesn't believe that the white man has an advantage over him. And in this case, Anton's doing better than me and better than a lot of the white people that I know. So what does that tell you? Yeah. Color probably makes a lot less difference now than it used to. So finding whatever reason it is to keep going instead of relying on excuses, whether it comes to what your background was. I didn't have a dad. I didn't even have a mom. I was just from a grandma. But I'm not a piece of crap because I have work ethic. In Anton's case, I don't know about his mom and dad, but he didn't let his color stop him. So, good food for thought.
Don't run in the Victim Olympics. Nothing happens by mistake, and nobody gave me a pass to get in the door. The goal is to make sure that you leverage the information, but if you're not intentional, if you sleep all day, if you don't speak to people, if you don't have an edge to you, if you don't interact with people, if you don't go outside, if you don't meet people, if you don't get the information, if you don't pay for it, if you don't go in and look at the people that are doing it great, regardless of how you feel, if you can't put your emotions down so that you can make a logical decision, that is the way that you go and get successful. And if you are here in the United States of America, you got an edge, bro. You got an edge. You got an edge. So at some point, you need to wake the fuck up. Wake up, nigga, and get in your bag.
Dang.
Wake
Straight
up and
calling
get in
us
your
out.
bag. It's people that already did 8 hours worth of work before you even wake the fuck up. As you so busy in a slumber, so drunkenness. Everything you do is overindulging. You don't even just smoke a little bit. You got to smoke till you ain't out of your mind now. You got to lace your shit.
So let's talk about that. Extracurriculars. We need to expand upon that a lot because a lot of people say they're broke, right? But they have a lot of money to do whatever else they want. They have a lot of money for the bar. They have a lot of money for their weed. They have a lot of money for their whatever it is. Insert thing here. So let's look at this. This is Adobe. This is the Creative Cloud Suite. $70. $70 a month. And this would contain everything you need to do YouTube. It would contain Premiere Pro editing. It would contain Audition for audio. It would contain Acrobat if you need to read PDFs. You could do everything you need to do for $70 a month if you're willing to learn it. And in fact, to take that one step further, if you want to use some of the best editing software ever, DaVinci Resolve is free. It's literally free. There's a paid version of it that gives you access to some things, but it's literally free. All these things that you think are holding you back, half of them are free and some of them are just $70 a month. But you don't have $70 a month because you spent $120 last month taking Jane out, and meanwhile you were in her phone as food, bruh. Food. That's right. You got hustled. And instead of spending your money on what you should have, Jane now enjoyed a free meal and is going on to the next dude. So maybe something that you should keep in mind.
You got to drink till you pass out. You don't know where you are. Ain't got no clue of what your life is like. You just aimless. You go to work so that you go to work for survival. You don't even have an intention about what you doing at work. You go to work so that you can make money, so you can pay a bill and that you can live to see the next day. You don't have no kind of goals. You're not trying to figure out how to get to the next job. You don't want to level up. You're not in school. You don't learn how to read more effectively. You're not trying to understand AI. You've never invested anything in yourself. You keep on spending money on dumb shit that don't add value into your life. You don't have an asset. You keep on complaining about your 401k. You want to get mad at the president, but you don't vote. You don't know who your city council members are. You don't even understand business. You financially illiterate. Your girl don't even fucking like you. And if she had the opportunity, she would level up. Your kids is looking at you as fool because they comparing you against the other parents that they didn't met. And they like, man, I wish my dad was like that. Everything they...
All right, we're going to kind of pause Anton just for the sake of time, but I want you guys to hear me on this. My daughter ain't never going to look at me and say, man, my dad just ain't doing it. That's never going to happen. She's going to see me in here hustling. She's going to see me in here grinding. She ain't never going to look to someone else and call them daddy. That ain't happening. Not on my watch. I am not food. And that's the mentality I've always had. And Anton just said it perfectly. You can't complain about life and do nothing about it. You can't complain about the president and not vote. You can't complain that you're broke but not increase your skill set, not get a second job, not do whatever it is you need to do to make sure that you don't stay in the same situation that you're in. You can't complain you're not where you want to be and then wake up at noon on Saturdays and watch Looney Tunes and play video games until 9 p.m. like a 5-year-old. You just can't do it. You've got to change something in your life. If you're not where you want to be and you change nothing, nothing will change. It's like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, which is a literal definition of insanity. And most of you guys are being insane. It's just the fact. You're going day to day to day and changing nothing and hoping that you win the Powerball, which, by the way, just went up to $1.7 billion. So good luck again. I helped increase the jackpot for you guys on Saturday. So you're welcome for that. I didn't even want to win anyway. I'll need the jackpot. But you guys get what I'm saying, right? Change something now because you can't wait any longer.